think what we can do is some people from the other sectors are here. So let's hear their views on what is necessary for us to talk about and discuss to take this whole space on a higher growth trajectory to reach that elusive $100 billion of Ronnie's worth a 5 lakh crore mark by 2020. So let's begin with Arun Puri. He's the doyen of Indian print and now television media. Arun, what is it that needs to be done in terms of putting, there's a lot of restlessness amongst the people in the industry that print is going to die, but I think print is flourishing in this country, and what will it take to take it to the next level?
I think one of the key things is what Ronnie mentioned in his speech. I'm sorry I didn't hear the whole thing. And we face this in print a lot, is the fact that consumers must pay for content. In India, people have got content too cheap. Newspapers are too cheap. Firstly, the benchmark starts there. 1 rupee 50 paisa for a newspaper which is 32 pages, plus supplements, plus so and so. And if you sell it for scrap at the end of the month, you get more than what you actually paid for it. So I think the benchmark starts there, that once the consumer is used to getting stuff free, even the cable channels which are provided by into people's homes. Why does the government get into the fact of setting cable prices of what I should sell your channel, you should sell your channel for? It's not a fundamental right in this country to get a cable connection. Government getting into this just out of populism. All this must stop. You must get consumers to pay for content, and getting subscriptions, making it into a B2C model, that is the way to go. And I think everything we do to push it towards that is really going to help the industry a lot.
You think we've seen in the US a lot of print newspapers and magazines changing very rapidly from print to online? Is it a phenomena which is happening, will happen imminently in India?
Sure, I think it'll happen pretty soon. It'll happen sooner than we think. I'm a great believer in, the future coming to us. And we can see the future and, be ready for it in India. That's our great opportunity. We probably have a larger window than most other people have in those countries. So I think that this is going to happen pretty quickly in India. It's going to be like a hockey stick. But we, I think, may come up in a different way, because in India, the mobile phone will become critical. It's far more widespread than we probably will jump away from being on laptops or tabletops, etc., to tablets, to mobile phones. Going to be the platform or a place where distribution is going to take place. So I think we will have to innovate our content in a way which is consumed easily on mobile phones.
Taking from mobile phones, we have Neeraj Roy here, the managing director of Hungama, one of the leading digital aggregators and news and entertainment providers. So Neeraj, where do you think, what is it that is keeping this big explosion in terms of consumption through media and entertainment and news through mobile? What is it that is really, well, a lot of people are using it, but there's no monetizing happening. What are the problems?
Thanks, Amit. And I think the first point is that consumption is happening. If you were to just look at, say, video as a form factor, today India accounts for, it's probably the third largest in terms of viewership when you look at some of the mainstream sort of online medium like YouTube, etc., whatever. But to the same extension of that point, which both Ronnie and Arun made, which is that we are falling into the same trap as we did 20 years back when we are into the broadcast business, which is the over-dependence on advertising. Each of us, when we look at it, you could be generating a few hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars by way of giving your content across into some of this medium. But it's costing 10, 20, 40 times more of that. And over the next 3 years, when the market grows from about 125, 135 million consumers to closer to about 600 million consumers online, if we do not set the norms for even what has already gotten enabled in the mobile ecosystem, which is microtransactions, I believe we would be the only ones to blame ourselves, because consumption would have happened, but more and more of our next generation, I have a daughter who's 7.5, and increasingly she will think it's her birthright to get her movie content or her television content or her music content for free, because that's the manner in which it is being proliferated. In this context, when you look at, for instance, what China has done, China 6 years back was closer to about 70 million consumers. Today it's about 525 million internet users. Just by virtue of a couple of actions that they took, they have already created a $350 billion, what you would term as a digital economy. I mean, just 3 companies alone are worth $200 billion. In the same context, when we look at it in the Indian market, both listed, unlisted, you would barely have about $5-6 billion of enterprise value, and we are, at the cusp. So I think the more time we spend towards getting consumer, and it's not about the consumer has to pay, out of that, but it's just that they should not get a sense and feeling that it is their birthright to continue to get this sort of content for free. Even if little microtransactions can happen, you'll start seeing that. I mean, the telecom ecosystem is reflective of that. It's made up of something like 10 to 12 billion microtransactions, which have resulted in that, whatever we call 4,500 crores of vast revenues which are coming into the telco ecosystem.
Good. Here.
Let's.
Amita.
But cinema, what is it that's keeping cinema growth? Well, this year has been a great year for box office, but generally.
Amit, the morning has been humbling. I mean, coming from Mumbai and hearing you guys speak, it reminds me of an image which I read in Carl Gustav Jung's essay. Tadpoles in a small puddle, feeling very safe, swimming vigorously, do not realize that very soon when the sun touches the zenith, the water will evaporate and they won't be there. There is a new world which is there, and I think we in the movie world feel we are perhaps oblivious to what's really playing out, I think. And it's urgent, it's important, as Uday said, that to connect the entire the human resources that we have to this reality. And I think we are still not waking up to what's really happening around us. And I think what is important is to deal with the movie industry with little patiently, and not to be very dismissive and be a little tolerant and lead them by holding their hands, because they will do everything to resist this change which is there. And because the world is changing in the blink of an eye. I mean, you wake up and there's a new world there. And so this is quite humbling when you come here, when you listen to the staggering data that you have been able to access and share with us.